California for our second NVA event of the 2022 season, and I'm Ira Thor, joined alongside Nick England and Matt Prosser as we'll get you set for today's action. 4 matches on tap today, and we're going to start the day off with what, quite frankly, could be our marquee match of the day. Just get it out of the way right away, and that's the Las Vegas Ramblers. They're unbeaten at 2-0, and the Utah Stingers also 2-0, each atop their respective divisions. Boys, that's a heck of a way to start the weekend.
Starts off with a bang. I'm definitely excited to see Las Vegas Ramblers. They're getting some of their big international names back. We're going to see Ryan Manoogian make his appearance this weekend. Probably not just yet. I was talking to him yesterday. Still very jet lagged, but expect to see Brandon Rattray at some point this weekend. Another guy got sick, may not be here early on. We'll see. New names signed to the roster: John Carlson, recent senior from Concordia, as well as Kevin Vaz, a local Southern California name a lot of people know. Most importantly, at the helm, they've got Michael Keegan making their return. So this team will look very different than they did at Event 1. On the side of the Stingers, a little bit of a late-minute change-up. George Mencia and Anovo Romero will not be here. However, Yoslater Kala, rumor has it he'll be making his appearance alongside Stormfont and Gata Tafunga, so excited to see that. And that was a middle-centric team last event, so look to see that take place. Maybe Mike Velotado getting Russ Holmes and Sean Dennis involved here. Yeah. So I like that matchup.
Some very veteranship through the middle, definitely with Russell Holmes and Michael Velotado activating those guys.
Yeah.
And I think whether Brendan Rattray is in the lineup or not completely will change, I think, who we pick in that match. And we'll talk about who each of the three of us are going to pick in our matches, say, after we look at the rest of today's matchups. Now, our second match of the day is also a championship caliber matchup, and that is the OC Stunners. They're 1-1 on the year against the Texas Tyrants. They are 2-0, but the biggest news with the Stunners is not their on-the-court player acquisitions. It is in the front office, where their brand new breaking news, brand new head coach is the man on my far left, Matt Prosser. Matt, what led to the comeback?
Well, thanks for spilling the beans on that. We hadn't really gotten the press release out yet, but just speaking with ownership after event number 1, and kind of got the coaching juices flowing again, being involved with the NVA. So it's an opportunity that I'm excited to do and take part of, and excited to have our full roster back today for the match against the Tyrants, which is a very good team from Texas. So it's going to be a battle for sure, but very excited to be a part of it on the court and also from the broadcast booth too.
Now, Nick, of course, obviously on the sidelines, that's going to help quite a bit. He instantly, by the way, becomes the tallest coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
But for the Stunners, they have some big players returning from overseas.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a return of Corey Chavers, fresh out of Switzerland. Joey Jarvis returning from the Middle East. Some of those names starting to come back. I believe Randy Ramirez is going to be making his return as well.
Correct. Yeah.
And so just looking forward to seeing those guys all get back. And we talked about it in Event 1. Tyrants had a lot of the faces we thought we were going to see throughout the entire season. So as far as I know, no new faces there, and they're going to bring that same caliber team. So the Stunners team that kind of struggled through Event number 1, I don't expect that we're going to see anything near the same team returning to the court. So it'll be exciting to see them come back.
Third match of the day is a rematch, or a correction. This is a first-time match. This is our 2 expansion teams. They're going to see action for the first time, which means somebody has to win. It is the Colorado Kraken and the Seattle Sasquatch. This is a tough one to call, and obviously where you got 2 teams where you still don't know a ton about, 2 teams that are still kind of feeling their way through the league as well. This is one that's really tough to really kind of pinpoint what to look out for, but what do you guys see?
What I'm seeing here is Colorado Kraken. We saw some flashes of brilliance from that team. I think the number one thing we talked about quite a bit was their instability in serve receive. When that team was passing well, they score efficiently. Right. But when they weren't passing, it was an out-of-system ball, and they weren't quite ready as a newer, younger team to handle that and play in the NVA and see those blocks. So if they can corral the serve of the Sasquatch, I think they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah.
But I look at the side of the Sasquatch, and I see Silva and Cole over there. That's 2 big names that made quite a splash. What'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, 2 new teams to the league, obviously still trying to search for some team identity and really kind of hit that groove, understanding how to play in the NVA. It's still volleyball at the end of the day, right? But really trying to find that identity with each team. So this matchup's very intriguing because they're 2 of the newer teams, younger, maybe less experienced, but also we'll have some new faces this weekend as well.
And then our final match of the day, 2 teams that are 1-1 on the year, the LA Blaze, who nearly pulled off an upset of the Texas Tyrants the last time we saw them. And they'll be taking on one of last year's semifinalists, and that is Southern Exposure. Southern Exposure has a lot of pieces back.
Yeah. What do you think about their middle matchup here? I mean, you're the middle
Well,
man.
Southern Exposure, some new middles will be in attendance this weekend that weren't here at the first event. Uchenna Foha and Tim Lurich, right through the middle for Southern Exposure is going to be very exciting to see what they can do. I expect them to get a lot of action through the middle since they're new, and Blaze, we'll have to see if they can counteract them as well through the middle as well with their blocking defense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The other kind of small matchup I'm paying attention to, Travis O'Gorman, a top 5 scorer in the league last year, is going to be going head-to-head with Jan Sullivan, who in event 1 was
great effort.
Huge addition to that squad on the right side. So we'll probably see them go head-to-head. Also, I think Derek Sullivan with hands, Belmont Abbey's season now over. I think we'll see him on the return as well, so excited to see that.
And then for the LA Blaze, they'll have some reinforcements defensively as Ricky Massanet will return at libero. They struggled a little bit defensively in the first event of the season. We'll see how that helps LA. So now we move on to our, let's see how right these guys are, and do not, trust us for any kind of advice if you are, picking any of these in a fantasy league or maybe in a casino somewhere. But we're going to give you our thoughts on who we think is going to win. And what we're going to do this year, by the way, we're going to tally up from this event to the end all of our predictions when Noah Chass returns with us next week. We'll add him into the mix, and we'll see at the end of the year who has the most accuracy in picking our winner. So first match, Ramblers, Stingers. You get to pick last on this one because you're a little bit biased as one of the top offensive players in the NVA right now in your time out there for the Ramblers. But I am actually going to go Ramblers in this one. That one could likely go to distance.
I agree with you, Ira. I will also take the Ramblers. I think Ryan Mather is going to be a huge factor in that match, and the depth of the Ramblers squad will prove to be a little stronger than the Stingers today.
Yeah, I've got to go with my boys. There is definitely some bias in there, but when you look at this, I mean, Utah Stingers, some of my guys go up and down with errors. Utah Stingers are just the constant pros. You can't put them in a bad spot, but I'm going to take the Ramblers here.
Second match, another one that can go either way. You got the Stunners and the Tyrants. I've been on the Tyrant bandwagon for most of the season so far. I can't, until give me a reason not to believe, I'm going to pick Texas.
Well, I got to take my squad. I can't vote against my own team. So OC Stunners, this one, getting the defending championship team back together from last season for the first time and looking for some good action from them.
Yeah, after what we saw, this is almost the exact team returning now that won the NVA last year. I've got to go OC Stunners.
Of course, that would be a bad first day in the front office for Matt Prosser if he picked against his boys. The third match, the Kraken and the Sasquatch. I feel this is where we could go either way. I was impressed, at least defensively, with J.J. Rose's work with the Kraken the last time, but I thought Seattle had more of an upside. They were a team that I think can pull an upset here and there this season, especially if they get a little bit more consistent. So I'm going to pick Seattle as the victory today.
I like that pick. I'm going the other way on this one. After we saw Kraken push Stingers the distance event 1, we saw a little bit of that juice that the boys can bring. They've got a couple more adjustments on the roster that I don't know what's gonna, how it's all gonna come together on the court. But I'm gonna take Sasquatch here. Or sorry, Kraken.
So I'll go with Ira. I'm going to take the Sasquatch on this one. I expect the guys from Seattle to be energized by the Southern California Inland Empire sun and the opportunity to get out of that fog and come out and get their first victory this year.
So we have our first differing opinions of the weekend. One more match to pick. We got the Blaze. We have Southern Exposure. And I'm certainly picking Southern Exposure here with the pieces they have back. And it'll be very interesting to see how much the addition of Tim Lurich and Derek Sullivan are going to make a difference today. I'm taking Southern Exposure.
Yeah, if everyone that I think is here, I'm going Southern Exposure, but this is a tough one. Who shows up today physically and who shows up on the court? But I think Exposure is going to take this one.
Again, I agree with both of you. It's a very difficult decision. I'm going to take the Blaze for the victory.
So we all had one match that we were outliers, and then all three of us took the Ramblers. So we all are looking to make our our differing pull away from the pack. All right, gentlemen.
Well, 9 a.m. Pacific is our first match of the day. Again, that is the Ramblers and the Stingers. That's our marquee match. Let's get that out of the way right away to start the weekend. And then 3 other matches, say, on day 1 of this 3-day event, 12 p.m. Pacific. Then 3 p.m. and of course at 6 p.m. And then 9 p.m. Eastern time, we will culminate the day with Southern Exposure and the LA Blaze. Come back and enjoy a full day of volleyball with us.
And it is match time. I am here with Matt Prosser. I'm Nick England. We're here with the NVA for day number 1, event number 2, match number 1. That's a mouthful, but it's Utah Stingers, Las Vegas Ramblers. Matt, what do you think about this one?
Well, this is going to be a great matchup this morning, Nick. Couldn't really imagine a better start to the weekend than these two teams facing off. Very even. Finally, both teams' rosters at full strength. So it should be a full-out battle. I expect this one to really get us going and go the distance, probably 4 or 5 sets this morning.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Seeing a lot of the guys back. A couple notable names that are missing on the side of Stingers is Enoble Romero, George Mencia. On the side of the on the Ramblers, Ryan Manoogian is back from Romania, dealing with some jet lag. So we expect to see him maybe tomorrow during their match. Brandon Rattray currently at home sick, not feeling too well, battling a flu this week. So he is out for now, but the Ramblers knew they were going to be needing some personnel. They've picked up John Carlson from Concordia, as well as Kevin Vaz in the middle, a Pepperdine guy who was at Cal Baptist prior to that program closing down. So some new faces there.
Some new faces on both sides for sure. Yasalana Kala joining the Stingers this weekend. And so new faces, a couple guys missing, but still going to add some different dynamics to both teams that we'll see how they both adjust and work through that adversity.
Yeah, and you and I were just talking about it prior to the broadcast here. So talking to coach owner Russ Holmes, Yo Slater just got back from playing some football in Europe. He's been in the Middle East, just kind of playing at a variety of clubs over there. So he'll be an outside hitter. We might see him replacing Enoble Romero. More likely, I think Paul Clark will probably get the start alongside of Storm.
A longtime professional. Obviously played his college volleyball up at BYU in Provo, and really that's when he kind of burst onto the scene here in the United States. Originally from Cuba, but has played a lot of volleyball around the world and has a pretty good following as well on that global volleyball kind of platform. So exciting to see what he can do now, kind of in the golden years of his career, and what he can bring to the NVA.
That's one of those things I do love about our league as we continue growing. You know, it's our 5th season here, but we get some of these guys that they've seen some of the highest level play. You get your Russ Holmes, who didn't even play last year. He was kind of retired, but the Stingers needed him to step up this year, and so he's joining Sean Dennis. But you see some of those guys that they've played in the #1 leagues in the biggest matches in the world, and they're still finding ways to play here. And maybe it's not yet in their prime, but I love that the league is still capturing those players.
Well, look, Nick, you and I both former volleyball players ourselves. You're still playing, by the way. You're not dressed this morning for today's match, and you had a very nice first event as the outside hitter for the Ramblers, so kudos to you. But a platform here in the United States for these guys to play professionally is something I never had the opportunity to be a part of on a player side, but it's a great opportunity for these guys to continue their careers here in the United States.
Yeah, so for anyone that hasn't seen what we're doing and what this is all about, I strongly encourage you, go check out NVAUSA.com. You can see all of these rosters. We've got 12 teams covering the entire continental U.S., so a variety of teams down from, all the way from Florida to Texas up to New Jersey. We've got everyone covered, so there's a team for everyone to be a fan of. We've also got a variety of new gear at NVAUSA.shop. We've got a blossoming TikTok rocking what's that called? The volumetrics. We're going 25 feet up right now. So if you prefer that view, check it out on TikTok, live on YouTube as always, as well as through our website. Also on our app, you can check out NVA USA on both app stores. So there's a variety of ways to be a fan, get involved, and see what kind of content we're pushing out.
Lots of ways to watch and be involved here with the NVA, Nick. Good job.
That's what it's all about, too. We're doing this for the fans as much as you and I love 9 a.m.s on Friday, not being stuck in our meetings, Here we are. Speaking of, Matt will be stepping out in the middle of broadcast, so when you get a little too much Nick England, that's why. I'll be covering for him. Sometimes the day job calls.
Sorry for all you out there watching, but I do have some responsibilities I got to take care of at about 10 a.m. this morning, so Nick will be solo for a little bit, but, you'll be just fine without me.
We'll do all right, getting me to stop talking, that's the trick. So we'll be joined by Ira Thor this weekend as well. Expect to see him on the mic following this match. And Noah Chast, unfortunately unable to make this event, but he will be joining us for the remainder of the season after that, some prior engagements. So Noah, if you're watching, take care, buddy, and we'll see you back here, event number 3. But this is about ready to get underway. Excited to see what these two squads can do. What's your takeaway for anyone that didn't tune into the first ever NVA USA pregame show?
Our pregame morning coffee show was a great conversation about the matchups today. All 4 matches throughout the day between the 3 of us, including Ira Thor, and I believe that I chose to take the Ramblers in this one for the victory. Ryan Mather is expected to play a big role here as the opposite hitter for the Ramblers, along with some new faces. And so I think the offense is going to be really strong for the Ramblers.
Yeah, and they're joined by their backup opposite is Joel Auerkamp, who is a former All-American from UCSD. He's had some international stints, so wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a 6-2 come out at any point from from the Rambler squad. They have 3 full setters here between Tanner Maxwell, Michael Keegan, as well as Spencer Andrews. So they've got some depth and some interesting spots today. So we'll see how they choose to utilize that. As you mentioned, my services luckily no longer required on the court. I'm happy to talk about the team now instead of play for them.
Yeah, you say luckily, but luckily for who? For the fans at home that get to listen to your commentary, or for your knees, or your shoulder, your elbow? I mean,
all of the above. You know, I'm glad because I think I got to show everyone I can still play enough to talk about the way I want to. You know, let the players know I can still play the game, but I'm going to retire on a high note once again.
You just said the R word. Retire?
Yeah.
That was it? We've seen the end of your
it happened
days.
in 2020. 2022 was just a little victory lap.
So you've retired twice then?
Yeah.
Which means you might as well retire 3 times when needed.
Yeah, it could happen.
All right.
Fans, you heard it here first, leaked on live by Matt Prosser.
Expect the 3rd retirement from Nick Ewing coming before the end of the 2022 NVA season.
Oh, can't wait to see it. Also, a small thing we talked about, Sean Dennis on a 1-year loan from the Ramblers to the Stingers had a phenomenal match. Mike Velitato getting the start here. He had a great showing at the Sunday matchup for the Stingers last event. Found a combined 14 kills in the middle, going to Russ Holmes as well as Sean Dennis. So he was really wanting that middle first offense, and excited to see it for the boys here in yellow.
Yeah, actually quite surprised to see Velitato getting the start over Reed Chilton. Reed played in the first event on that Friday, I believe Saturday match, but then was out on Sunday, and Velitato stepped in quite nicely. And one thing to note, a little former teammates of high school action, Michael Velitato playing against Ryan Mather on the Ramblers. They played together at Redondo Union High School.
And how do you know that?
I had the pleasure of coaching both of those young athletes during their high school days at Redondo Union.
So we've got a Stunners coach, we've got a Ramblers opposite, and then a Stingers setter, all now being represented in one place years later. That's quite the story.
Thanks for making me feel a little bit older after that statement. But I brought it up, so
I coached Mike Keegan. We're both from the same San Diego high school, so you know, there it is. And we're underway. Hand pass Velitato goes to the middle right off the bat. Kevin Vaz gets a block touch to reset. Storm tips out of the system. Keegan goes outside, and Hoppy dug with a one-handed dig. Set over, picked up by Hoppy. Mather on the D-ball, dug by Clark. And Velitato goes to the D-ball. Another block touch, and Keegan goes over on one. Attempted pipe connection gets missed. And Hoppy goes hard angle dug once again by Clark. Sean Dennis free balls this ball over. Another opportunity. Kevin Vaz goes for the tip, and just like that, a huge rally ends in an unfortunate connection.
I mean, what an opening rally to this match. Ball goes over the net 6, 7, 8 times. Unfortunate way to lose the point from the Ramblers. Kevin Vaz tipping that ball out, but what an effort from both sides in that opening rally.
Now, it is worth noting, Ramblers without Antoine Aguiar this weekend. Kevin Vaz was picked up just this weekend, so he's yet to you have now seen the first 2 swings that he's ever taken as a Rambler. He did not even get to practice with this squad, so this is going to be all of us getting to experience that connection established all at once.
Yeah, unfortunately, that second swing right there going against 6'11" Sean Dennis, and Sean getting that stuff down on him.
Mather dug again. Paul Clark playing some phenomenal defense, but a miscommunication about who's able to get to that ball. Definitely impressed by Clark's ability to step in here. Chandler Baugh picking up 2 digs in that first rally as well. Love to see both the number 1 and number 0 jerseys getting defensively involved.
Yeah, Stinger's doing a nice job, obviously, reaching into their reserves and bringing Clark out into the outside hitter position.
Baugh's hammers the jump serve past, and it's out of system. Free ball coming. D-ball to Mather once again. And that's going to be in 2-2 as the Ramblers find a point. Stingers looking for an early challenge. Mike Velitato confident that his right foot was on the line and that ball is wide. So we do have the challenge system, which has been implemented here in the 2022 season. If you're unfamiliar, the way that works is every team is awarded 3 challenges in the first set. At that time, you can use them at any time over the next 4 sets, should it go to 4 sets and not be a 3-0 sweep. If you get your challenge correct, you keep it. When you go into the 5th set, doesn't matter how many you have left, you get one challenge with the same rules. If you get it right, you keep it. So this is a big thing about managing when to use it. So we always talk about at 2-2, you better be very confident in set 1 that you're not burning a challenge right now.
Yeah, I mean, to use a challenge this early in the match, I don't know if I would utilize that strategy. When you have 3 to use for the first 4 sets of play, if you lose this one, then you're down to 2. At 2-2 in the first set, a little early, I would have just said, let's keep rolling on it and move past it. But I'm not coaching this squad, so we'll see what Coach Russell Holmes gets on this challenge as they're reviewing it upstairs. So.
Yeah, and it's important to note, too. I mean, that just speaks to, I think, the confidence that Mike Velitato had. You always talk about, even when, you and I have coached at youth levels, high school, everything like that, you always teach foot on line for the defense, and that way anything to the side of you, it's out of bounds. So I didn't see where Mike was set up, but he had to have had that kind of confidence that ball was out.
From our angle, it was hard to tell. I didn't really get a great look on the ball when it hit the floor, but fortunately we do have the challenge system, so with that means we're going to get the call correct, and we'll move on and keep storming forward here.
Yep. One thing we are working on is getting that integrated into the stream so that you can see exactly what we see. It's not quite available yet, but that means you're just going to have to watch some more NVA matches and find out when that goes live, so stay tuned for that. The call is coming down. We'll see the point awarded. Point for the Ramblers. That is We did. And we get the call. That, Matt, that comes to fruition.
Yeah,
that's not the call. That is a bad challenge.
The Stingers kind of got stung on that one.
Hey, there it is.
And they'll just have to roll with it. Now they're only down to 2 challenges for the remainder of the first 4 sets here.
Voss hammers the ball. Do the Ramblers go back-to-back to challenge? That one just long. And the boys all kind of doing the heat check, looking around, seeing if anyone has a lot of confidence on that one. But play will resume here. Storm on the back line. Carlson takes first ball. Hoppy on a fast tempo, dug by Clark. Or Chandler Baugh, apologies. And that pipe is able to squeak through the block of Duarte and Keegan.
Yeah, nice transitional attack that time through the middle back row on that pick. No front row hitters available for the Stingers, but fortunately Clark was, and he got that ball to rattle through and down.
Carlson in service seat once again. Duarte now the option, and there's the middle connection the Ramblers want to see established. Good kill for Duarte. Right now, 3 Concordia University from Irvine graduates. We've got Josh Duarte in the middle, Jordan Hoppy on the outside, and opposite of him, you have John Carlson. So a lot of CUI guys out there.
The Eagles, making their way into the NVA. They've that program's had a nice upward trajectory over the last several years.
Yeah, owner of the Ramblers, Vinny Rodriguez, was there prior to them being a D1 program, so definitely likes finding his guys. There's a huge block on the left side. Jordan Hoppy, Josh Duarte put a first-class stamp on that and send it back to the post. Wow, what a huge shutdown. 4-4. Keegan with an ace. Goes after the seam between 1 and 0. Clark and Baugh, a little miscommunication.
Pretty surprising to see that ball fall between those 2 players, both 2 of the best passers of the Stingers and the libero, essentially. Let's see what Keegan can follow that ace up with this time.
A serve in the net, so after 2 points of playing the game all by himself, we're going to resume at 5-5 now. Keegan off of a season playing over in Spain. Middle blocker Sean Dennis to serve. Goes to the short float, taken by Hoppy. And Duarte is the option once again, dug by Dennis. Clark with a smooth swing into the deep angle, attacking area 5, gets the kill for the Stingers.
Yeah, Clark showing some nice angle and range from the left side, playing that 0-2 position where he only attacks from the left side of the court, really in there for his passing prowess. That time a nice swing inside out. Actually, that was in block and defense, so a real point scored by the Stingers.
Dennis goes short again, taken by Schickling. Backside to Hoppy, and Hoppy goes OT on the smaller blocker of Clark.
Jordan Hoppy, so athletic. The kid can fly. It's quite appropriate, the last name affiliated with how well he jumps. And he is a very real threat to any team that he plays against, and has been doing a nice job offensively for the Ramblers.
Currently the #1 ranked outside in the league. The team's excited to get, that passing prowess from Carlson alongside. Mather with a chop short, picked up. Swing goes long, no block touch at all. That one waffles long. Shane Ty there, not able to find that.
I didn't actually see a touch that time. I thought that was a clear miss. And we will not see another challenge get used here by the Stingers in set #1.
The Rambler bench jokingly egging them on to challenge once again. Russ Holmes a little back set to bail Paul Clark out. Hoppy swings and gets the tool off the block. The pipe established early. The Ramblers really looking to adjust the way their offense runs from last year, where they were not running the offense through the middle of the court too much, front row and back row. You're seeing the middles and the pipe getting involved very early here.
Yeah, and serving strategy for the Ramblers as well is clear to go after #1 in yellow, Paul Clark in the back row, right as I say that he serves the libero, but a hit off the block from Russell Holmes. And what I was going to say is that the passing of the Stingers has been a little suspect.
Yep.
That time able to get the pass up to the net, and Velatato, who we both know loves to set middle, takes advantage of the veteran in Russell Holmes that time.
Hand pass by Schickling, backside to Mather, and Mather gets involved, goes off the block of Clark and Holmes.
A very smart swing that time by Ryan Mather, the 29-year-old, as he aforementionedly informed me this morning that he's not quite yet 30, and a good swing to attack the smaller blocker that time.
Jump serve from Duarte. There's the second ace of the match. If you remember the Ramblers, and when I say the Ramblers, I mean the Ramblers in true form, there was definitely something that I always joked about when I was coaching and working with the guys, and that was that we were determined to end the point with or without the other team's influence. We were going to ace or error. So we're seeing right now positive serving contributions. We'll see how long they can keep that up. Nice soft block touch by Vaz. Net move going out there. Mike Velatato catches his hand going up, and that's going to be John Carlson drawing the foul for the going to the outside there. Duarte with his third serve in his run. Storm with a tip over the top, picked up and pushed over. Keegan able to play some defense to keep that alive. Stingers with another chance. Vaz stops Holmes, but nets on the way.
Nice block and defense from the Ramblers. Guys in the back row laying out to get their hands underneath that ball for the pancake. I didn't get breakfast this morning, so making myself hungry, but Vaz unfortunately goes into the net after that block.
Clark with a big toss. Taken by Carlson in system, and Carlson gets some backspin on that ball. Not a single bit of top spin, but finds the corner and paints it in there all the same.
Doesn't have to be pretty. It was in, and it hit the floor, so you get the point. And moving forward.
Look at the shoe combo between Carlson and Vaz right now. That lime green and bright orange.
Very bright contrast. We were talking about that before the match.
Velotado going back to Ty. Ty finds the antenna off the block though, scores the point for the Stingers. Ty getting his first NVA debut here in the absence of George Mencia.
Yeah, and the explosive left-handed opposite attacking the block that time, so changing up some angles with that left arm attack line.
Russ Holmes to float. The pass to Schickling connects. Kevin Vaz was showing us very early his ability to block well, get some good touches, because that's something you can do on your own. He was struggling to find that middle connection, but man, that connected very well right there.
It sure did, and I expect to see a lot of action to Vaz throughout this match. He's 6'8", 6'9" nearly. He is a big man in the middle, and the Ramblers want to get him activated clearly on offense.
Carlson causing chaos, and there's the ace number 3. Carlson brings the energy.
Yeah, service pressure from the Ramblers really has been a difference maker here and has allowed them to get out to this 5-point advantage here in the first half of set number 1.
Carlson again finds Clark. Tight pass, it goes over. There's going to be a net. Missed, no net called. Vaz finds the terminal block, though. You got to play until the whistle. I think that was a very clear net, but that's okay. Kevin Vaz goes over, seals the net on the block, and he's doing a fantastic job in the middle right now for the Ramblers.
Yeah, credit to Vaz. I couldn't agree with you more, Nick. He is doing a great job, and also playing through the whistle. It looked like there was a net on that play, but play until you hear the whistle.
Carlson is relentless going after Clark right now. Storm takes a swing, but there's another net. Kevin Vaz a lot less sneaky than the last play. That was a nice hand dig there by Ryan Schickling wearing black for the Ramblers, but Storm Fatangata showing exactly why that cannon is so valuable on the outside for the Stingers. Float from Velotado, taken from Hoppy, and a dump comes through from Keegan. Catches the Stingers, looking at which option that's going to, and that's going to be our technical timeout. And we're getting back into the action right now. For anyone that's not familiar, that was a technical timeout, and that takes place. The first team reaches 16 points. If there is a timeout called by either team prior to that, then we don't have a technical timeout. But that is something you can expect to see all weekend long. Overpass, Michael Keegan lights him up. The service pressure right now from Kevin Vaz. Kevin Vaz has not been in the league since 2020, in which when he appeared for Southern Exposure when we were out in Utah for our one-event COVID weekend. Did not play for the past season, and he has made his return. So he is bringing the firepower right now. And again.
Wow. Vaz going with a little inside-out side spin action on that jump serve. Yeah, and the pressure from the inline for the Ramblers is really paying off in droves for that squad as Coach Holmes decides to take a timeout, see if they can calm down the service pressure from the Ramblers.
I mean, we're talking about it. I don't have the official number. I think that's ace number 5, the overpass there that Keegan just put away, kind of threw that count off in my head. But Matt, I mean, what do you do? What do you? Not that you're coaching an NVA team. What's that conversation to your guys?
Well, you just have to, as a passing core, go back to the basics, right? Obviously, talk about who's got what seams, understand which ball you're going to take and the guy next to you is going to take, and then break down to the fundamentals, okay? Get lower, get your butt down, get your arms out early. Doesn't have to be a perfect pass. It's got to be up by the 10-foot line at worst so that you can still run offense. You don't want any clean aces and no ricochets off the arm and up into the crowd.
Yeah, there's been a lot, like you said, terminal aces. That's the thing. No one's getting a chance to get that second touch with a lot of these serves. So we'll see if the Stingers can shore that up. Pause out of the timeout. Might get another one. Not able to be brought back. Everybody on the sideline over here getting a game ball touch. That's another ace. And that's the worst feeling when you call a timeout to slow when you try to slow a server down and, the exact opposite happens.
Yeah, Kevin Voss just doing a great job. That's his 3rd straight point from the inline. The Ramblers must be very glad to see this man back on their side.
And the Voss serving train continues. Mather with a dig. Bick to Carlson. Dug by Baugh, and a tip over, but Ty misses the hands of Keegan, going low and tight. And this Rambler team feels like they are running away. They've doubled the score at 20-10. I did not see this coming.
No, I don't think anybody here in the gym did see this coming, and the Stingers really just struggling to pass. The service pressure again. We sound like a bit of a broken record, Nick, but there's a better pass, and they're able to go quick.
Ramblers are going to take a swing, a one-handed dig there from Baugh. Great ball. Ty's going to have to set this one over. Duarte takes ball 1, goes quick to the outside, and Hoppy just throws it down, but a nice pickup by Velatato. Storm swings, but Storm is blocked and not able to be covered. This Rambler team is looking clean and crisp right now.
Kind of like those white uniforms that they have on, so fresh and so clean.
Yes, sir.
Nice to see that on a Friday morning, but yeah, for the Stingers, they're just really struggling to do anything correct here. That pass was a little bit better, but then can't get the ball past the Rambler block.
Now we see that that substitution coming in. Number 22, Joel Auerkamp out of UCSD, 30-year-old firefighter down in San Diego. Used to play for the OC Stunners, took some time off as he pursued fire training and getting his time on the court now. Gets the first swing off the bench, covers himself, but not able to do it. Keegan looks to get him involved early.
Well, that's what you should be doing when you bring a player in, get him activated. He's been watching, and when you have a 10-point advantage like the Ramblers do here, that's even though Joel might not have been quite ready for that attack, he needs to fix that next time around.
Storm with the jump serve. Nice serve. Hoppy forced to battle with that. Joel gets a second swing, but that's going to force the net and a point for Auerkamp. Keegan believes in the setback. Give him another chance.
A very common strategy if your player makes a hitting error, set him again on that very next opportunity so that he can prove himself and have a short memory in terms of that hitting error and be able to move forward.
Keegan hits that jump hybrid right there. Velatato back. There it is. Ty's been struggling all match to find that first really authoritative skill. And Shane Ty right there with a big swing off the block. Love to see that arm getting involved, and good kill for him on the right side.
Well, the Stingers will need some production from Ty as this match goes on for sure. The opposite hitter relied on pretty heavily for some big swings throughout a match.
Dennis sends that floater long. And at 23-12, this game's all but over with Jordan Hoppy on the back line, someone that's one of the ace leaders in the NVA right now. And there it is, in true fashion, an ace from Hoppy coming off. Set point number 1 here. Las Vegas Ramblers not taking any time to get the train rolling. Hoppy goes after Storm, quick attack. There it is, Russ Holmes waking it up in the middle. Big swing for number 12.
It's a good sign for the Stingers and any Stinger fans watching this game. They haven't cashed it in yet. Not playing their best brand of volleyball, but when they get that good pass up to the net, keep the middles involved and try to create some momentum going into set number 2.
Floats there taken by Schickling. Outside to Carlson, who attacks that high line, and that's going to do it for set number 1. 25-13 Las Vegas Ramblers over the Utah Stingers. We're going to be right back getting into set number 2. Don't go anywhere. Back into the action here. Las Vegas Ramblers starting off set number 2 hot off a 25-13 win against the Utah Stingers. Uncharacteristic win. Matt, what are your thoughts on that one? How do you think this one's going to go? Is that a little bit of just the Stingers' slow start we see?
Well, I mean, credit to where credit is due, and the Ramblers' serving pressure was really on point. Okay, their serving strategy clearly to challenge Paul Clark, number 1 in yellow, and that strategy really paid off for them. So meanwhile, for the Stingers, it just comes down to their passing. When they passed well, they were able to run the middle and limit those unforced hitting errors that they had through set number 1.
And just like that, we are back into it with another Kevin Vaz kill. You know, it's funny. Bernie, we talk about it, but my actual involvement with the Ramblers now is I am the vice president and manager of the team. So I do a lot of the overseeing of the recruiting and who we're bringing into the roster. And Kevin was someone that we've had our eye on and we've been working with for weeks. We only made it official this week. But I was a little nervous. I know what he can do, but a little nervous to see how quickly he would mesh with the team. But, you know, this is answering a lot of questions. Cover there, free ball back into it. Duarte takes one, Keegan to the outside, quick to Hoppy, and a hard angle for one of the first times this match. Chandler Baugh not able to dig that swing, and Hoppy is unrelenting on the left side.
Well, yeah, Nick, I mean, kudos to you. It's a nice pickup getting Kevin Voss on your roster, as he's made a solid impact and contribution so far in this match, and there's still quite a ways to go.
Yeah. Stingers breathe a sigh of relief as that ends. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that's stopping by in the chat. We saw some feedback earlier on the score bug in the top corner and making sure it looks right. If you guys ever see anything that you know, something's loud, too quiet, something like that, just let us know. We're always checking out the YouTube chat. Love to see everyone stopping by, making their Friday morning a little bit better. Our Camp getting the start in this match. Blocked straight down from the combo of number 8, Fatangata Funga, and Dennis wearing 14.
That was a nice block by the Stingers side. A couple more real points like that will help them get some momentum going that they clearly missed out on in set number 1.
Cougar Clark back to jump serve, high ball in the middle of the court. Our Camp gets a second swing, dug by Clark, and Dennis unable to come up with it. That kind of went to that no man's land with Ty off blocker defense, just wasn't able to quite get there.
Yeah, just a bit unfortunate for the Stingers there.
Keegan hits the jump serve. Great pass. Little low set to Dennis. Hoppy throws that down, and a tip just past Shane Ty. We saw that was Hoppy's go-to against Southern Exposure. Just, he loves to swing, but his court vision is some of the best I've ever seen. He'll just throw balls down.
Court vision and volleyball IQ, as we like to say, Nick, from the broadcaster booth. Being able to see that opening, and Jordan Hoppy takes advantage of it that time.
Storm now looks to answer back, a one-handed off-blocker dig. Hoppy is out. Keegan recognizes it, sets it over. Shane Ty. Dennis goes up on 2. Carlson with a big pickup in the back row. Our Cap swings out of the out-of-system, gets a second attempt. Velatato unable to come up with it. And the Ramblers scrap their way to a point there at 5-2.
Good rally from both sides. Effort levels definitely getting picked up by the Stingers. They realize that they have to win this set to avoid going down 0-2 in this match, but Ramblers still holding on to that 3-point advantage now. Now make it 2 from that service error.
I wanted to call out on that last one, something to always pay attention. When you get Sean Dennis at 6'11", he's on your screen right now. When he's on the net, he loves to be super aggressive. He does a great job of reaching balls at a high point of contact and winning those 50-50 competition balls that are really going to be on the plane. He doesn't wait for anyone else to see if they're going to take it. He just gets up, goes over everyone else. So definitely keep an eye on that. I love the aggression from him. But middle aggression, can't say it enough. Josh Duarte from the side of the Ramblers gets the kill there. Great pass from Clark. Shane Ty goes up, and there it is. Number 3 doing some damage. Shane Ty getting more and more involved offensively. You can see Velatato's a big confidence guy. He works very hard to get his hitters involved and then show them, you know, when he really trusts in them offensively. Doing a good job there. Nice dig by Clark. Holmes throws it deep in the corner. This one's got to go. Free ball by Duarte. Chance to score. Holmes throws that down on the second attempt, number 12. Russ Holmes flexes his stuff in the middle. Big point for the Swarm.
Not much to flex on that time. Not a lot of heat on that attack, but again, effective nonetheless. So point going to Russ Holmes there.
Schickling gets targeted. Oh, nice set by Holmes there. Out of system, Doug. Keegan with an out-of-system bump set. Hoppy determined to swing, but probably not the best decision. The Swarm are finding a little bit of energy and momentum, and somebody might have punched the beehive and gotten them all going. Ty goes after Schickling once again. Keegan tries to force a set, gives a free ball over. And now Storm is blocked down in a one-man blocking army there by Joel Auerkamp.
Auerkamp making a great late dive into the angle, catching Storm Fanganta Tufunga off balance and by surprise. So a nice block point for the Ramblers there.
Duarte, number 32, with a jump serve. See if he can get a little momentum going here. Great pass. Stingers in system. Go hard angle. And the absence of a libero is felt there as Josh Duarte hangs his head. No defensive move to be made.
Well, so far in set number 2, we've seen a nice response from the Stingers. Their passing is improved, and they've been able to run quick and in-system offense to their front row hitters.
Tight ball. Vaz is going to tip that. Oh my goodness, the court vision just goes up. A little bit of a deke there and throws it to the corner.
Yeah, credit to Michael Keegan with that great set out of the net, the bump set, and then Vaz seeing the vision. Michael Velotado really not needing the block that time. He should have possibly stayed down and pulled himself off the net to look for that tip. But credit to Vaz and the Ramblers to score that point.
Matt, I want to call back something you were talking about just a moment ago, the improved passing from the Stingers. You're also going to see right now that the Stingers are all seeming to target the Ramblers libero number 8, Ryan Schickling. So it's going to be interesting to see the battle between those two teams. Ty with a big swing, and he punches that through the seam. Carlson goes a little bit drift wide there, and nice aggressive swing from Shane Ty, number 3, scoring his second kill of the set.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate bounce for the Ramblers as the block wasn't quite shoulder to shoulder, and Stingers able to capitalize that point opportunity there.
Holmes targeting Schickling once again. Auerkamp on the D-ball, hammers it down and returns it to Holmes, says, hey man, that's my libero.
Auerkamp, nice job by him. Really kind of struggled in set number 1, getting put in late in the game, but has come on strong here in set number 2. I think that's his second kill plus a block for a point. So Joel making a nice contribution for the Ramblers.
It's been a big thing in the offseason, the Ramblers increasing some of their depth, giving themselves a variety of tools, and bringing on a coach to manage the whole ship has definitely made an improvement. And that's something that's a very interesting quick note, Matt, I want to talk about is, you know, as we create this pro league, we're creating a demand for things like refs, for sports writers, for content creators, for coaches, things that didn't really exist necessarily. And so it's been interesting as the league grows to see the demand and creation of those kind of roles. So, you know, you see yourself, guys that you were a former All-American, played at Long Beach State, you've played in the AVP, guys that just have the knowledge and love for the game cycling back in. It's great to see.
Well, again, I think we kind of touched on it, you know, before this match started, the opportunity to be involved with a professional men's indoor league in the United States. It's something that the U.S. absolutely needs and deserves to have. There's plenty of volleyball fans here in the country, and obviously plenty of high-level players that need an outlet. And right now, the NVA is allowing them, and myself and you, to do that.
Yeah, it is. Vaz now, let's see if he has been an absolute problem for the Stingers passing line. We'll see if it can continue. And continue it does. I think that's ace number 5.
I think it is. It's a very unassuming windup on his approach to attack that jump serve, but effective that time going off of Chandler Baugh, the libero from the Stingers, getting aced. So expect to see Vaz attack that seam again this time.
Another serve sends that one long. Clark misses the top spin into the top of the tape there. Stingers got they're trying to find their footing in terms of, there's a lot of serving pressure. So they know that every time they're in serve receive, they've got to battle with it. But the service line, see if they can get a little energy created. And for the first time ever, Las Vegas Ramblers go to a 6-2 option here. I believe. Maybe we've done it once before, but that's going to be Spencer Andrews coming in to captain the ship as the setter. Ryan Mather coming in to battle with him. The whole strategy here, keeping an opposite front row for 3 more rotations. This sub will then likely be undone, bringing our camp and Keegan back to the court.
I like the substitution from Coach Miguel of the Ramblers. Other than that service error, the double sub has been utilized quite a bit and is catching on in every level of volleyball, whether it's junior club, professional, college, high school. And it's a great tool that was sort of pioneered by the Brazilian national team about maybe 8 to 12 years ago in the Olympic cycle. So it's turned into be a very standard move by all teams in volleyball.
Love to see those adaptations. And there's the connection right away. And honestly, that's the inhibiting factor, right? Is having 2 setters that can interchange and run that same offense. And a middle attack is a true testament to that. It's one of the most connection-based offenses. Spencer Andrews has been the guy all season long, though, in Michael Keegan's absence, training with this team, so he knows exactly how to set them.
Yes, absolutely, and it's a huge advantage to continually have 3 attackers through the front line.
And Jordan Hoppy cuts it short and hits the 10-foot line tee, finding an ace there.
Haven't seen Hoppy go to that serve yet. Another sort of ongoing evolution of service pressure is that off-speed chop serve that falls short. Jordan Hoppy giving a quick master class on how to hit that serve.
Yeah. And then he goes straight back for power alley swinging, targeting number 1, Paul Clark. Back-to-back aces in very different fashions.
The boys from Las Vegas doubling down on the back-to-back aces behind Jordan Hoppy. Can he go for the trifecta?
Yeah. Do you let it ride?
Definitely let it ride. Green light.
Storm steps in with a great pass. Holmes gets involved, taken by Schickling. Spencer tight to the net, gets Duarte, and a nice block touch there by Holmes. And that's going to bring us to 16, so we're going to go to a quick commercial technical timeout. We'll be right back. Back into it. That buzzer means it is time for set number 3. Matt, I would say the difference right now is serving. It's simple as that.
I couldn't agree with you more, Nick. The service pressure from the Ramblers has carried over from set number 1 into set number 2, especially here in the middle part of it. And behind this man, Jordan Hoppy has been serving lights out from the inline.
Yeah, and I misspoke. Yeah, I said set number 3. That was just the technical timeout. We're at 16-11 coming back to it. A little bit of lights turning off there. Scoring opportunity here for Storm on the outside, and he finds it. Swinging past the double block of Mather and Duarte. Big kill for number 8. Stingers taking control of that point. Shane back with the float serve. Sends that one deep and long. Carlson confidently lets it go.
And that has been a bit of the tail of the tape as well. The Stingers getting aced too many times, but then missing too many serves. They're not able to put any pressure on the Ramblers side out.
Yeah. Duarte answers back with men's volleyball. Serves in the net. Storm with a nice deep jump serve. Back set to Mather. Mather goes high off hands there of Clark and Holmes. You can see Spencer Andrews knows he's got a mismatch of the big man, Ryan Mather, fresh off of being the #1 scorer in Denmark. Going after Paul Clark there, #1.
Yeah, one of the key roles of a setter is to identify the hitter-blocker matchups and really try to get the ball into the right position so that your team has a higher advantage. And yeah, as you said, now Ryan Mather serving. See what he can do from the inline.
Just long so far. It does not look like this set, this switch is being undone. So we're just seeing the Ramblers ready to let it go. But, you know, they've shown that they're not afraid to let guys just play and just get use the whole bench and get some experience for the guys. Ryan Mather tracks down the shank from Ryan Schickling, who sends it into the rafters, unfortunately. That is a phenomenal hustle, though, from Ryan Mather and a much-needed ace from the side of Russell Holmes.
It is a much-needed point, and yeah, credit to the Ramblers' effort level that time. Just a bit unfortunate that we are not playing in a building with a higher ceiling that time from Ryan Mather, trying to get the ball back over the net as Schickling made a good attempt at it.
Taken by Carlson, and he's the option now. Good pick up in the off blocker by Clark. Clark rolls over the top, picked up by Carlson. Backside to Mather. Through the tape, dug by Holmes. And now Storm chips it over the top, but a net violation there from #11, Kevin Vaz.
The Stingers hanging around, creating some momentum on their side, something to celebrate. And now only down by 2. A couple of moments ago, they were down by
4 or 5, yeah.
5, 6, yeah.
Russ Holmes stepping in, getting a nice dig in the middle of that rally. Feels good to see the middles, you know, making that happen. Ooh, unfortunate miss, but, you know, that one I don't feel so bad about. After he got an ace, got another real point, he got a little bit of a run. That's what the Stingers need to start doing. They've had a couple missed serves, but it's the first serve. Get yourself, see a couple before you miss.
Right, serve progression, we like to call it in the practice gym and in the competition setting. But yeah, Russell Holmes making that first serve, but just missing that one into the tape.
Shane ties the option, and Kevin Vaz gets tooled. Shane doing a nice job here in the second set. That's his 3rd kill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, nice turnaround and response from #3 in yellow, going high off the blocker's hands that time. Utilizing that left-handed hitting strategy that he has.
Jordan Hoppy with one of the sharpest 4-to-4 swings I've ever seen. Goes up, hits a nice off speed there at the top of the, as you said, his hop, and goes 5-6 feet deep there.
That was a very sharp cross-court angle, one I haven't quite seen, and we've got really good front row seats for that.
Yeah, man, I'm just seeing the stream feed on that. That was a fun one for the fans. But even more fun is the Kevin Vaz ace train. He's played now 2 sets. He's maybe an ace leader in the league.
He might be. He's definitely going to be in the top 5 after this match is over, and we're going to see a good substitution here for the Stingers.
Slater Kala making his Stinger debut, replacing #1 Paul Clark here. Look for a little change up in the passing line.
I think this is a good substitution. Kala just fresh off of a plane from Europe where he finished up a professional season indoors. And, you know, with his team down by 4, gives him a chance to get a little feeling in the game. And right out of the gates, he gets a set.
Swing is dug by Mather. And now a one-man block from Dennis sends it back. Hoppy gets a second attempt. Roll shots this one and dug by Storm. Shane now blocked and recycled. Another attempt, but that's way deep. Oh, Shane Tai absolutely flexing his ability to just get behind that ball. Saves a wild set from Bellatato there for kill #4.
That was a fortunate advantage that he's left-handed, because that set was nearly out to our first referee that Tai was able to deal with.
Bump set, high to the pin, and there's a net on the side of the Ramblers. Jordan Hoppy catches it on the way down. Stingers answering back nicely here, trying to create a little momentum.
Yeah, and credit to the substitution of Kala coming in. Kind of been a bit of a spark plug to his side right now.
Opts for the standing float, targeting Ryan Schickling once again. Mather on the D-ball. Targets Velitato. You can tell right now that the Stingers are definitely going after Ryan Schickling, and they're prioritizing. You can see where the veterans are really prioritizing serves in on target over aggressive serves. So Paula finding his mark there, and Spencer Andrews now to serve. Float targets Kala fresh off the bench. Sean Dennis goes up, and there's some of the middle activation that we haven't been able to see because of the passing. But Velitato gets the pass there, and he doesn't waste any time getting the big man involved.
Yeah, I mean, the scouting report against the Stingers is anytime there's a good pass, the block and defense of the opposition has to respect the Stinger middle attack because that's what they like to run from Velitato on those perfect pass opportunities.
Dennis with a float. Hoppy cuts it inside, dug by Velitato. Tight pass. Mather grabs it and throws it down, taken by Hop. Spencer goes to the middle in transition, blocked by Holmes, covered, and there it is. Shane Ty is the name to say for the Stingers right now. He is carrying the load for the Swarm, trying to bring them back in.
What a turnaround from the Stingers, and we're going to see a timeout called by the Ramblers, which I think is smart, but the Stingers with all the momentum right now in set number 2.
Wow, I love his energy. Goes up and just sees that, tight on the net, doesn't wait. It's kind of that thing I was talking about with Sean Dennis earlier, just taking control when the ball's tight on the net, not waiting to react. And Shane saw that kind of 50-50 pop up. Hey, I'm just going to end this point right here, right now.
Well, taking advantage of the situation, Shane Ty definitely doing a nice job in set number 2. We're a bit of a slow start from set number 1, but you can see right now the Stingers very excited, a lot of good, happy smiles, right?
Yep.
Even though they're only still losing technically by the scoreboard, only down by 1, but momentum is clearly on their side.
Very, very much so here. And we see the Ramblers serve receive has been a little erratic with the serves all going towards the man in black. Not something you usually see as the serving scheme, but it's working right now. But Schickling gets a hold of that one, and Jordan Hoppy swings, gets a recycle out the back. You can hear the bench from the Ramblers making sure there is no touch. So right out of the timeout, that little cool me down works for the Ramblers.
Well, that was a big swing right there. The Ramblers needed that one. Now 2 points away from winning set number 2 with their best server in the set at the end line.
Storm battles with it, and he's the option, tries to tip it over, but Ryan Mather with a very disciplined block keeps control of that one.
Yeah, great block from Mather. That set just a tiny bit too tight for Storm to deal with. And now we have set point for the Ramblers.
And there it is. A tale as old as time. The Ramblers in set number 2 with Jordan Hoppy crushing an ace. We've got set number 3 coming up. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere, as this might be the quick conclusion here. But the Stingers look to stay alive. We'll be right back. Mr. Matt Prosser, he'll be back right after this set likely, so we'll see how that one goes. But until then, you're here with me, and we're heading into set number 3. The Las Vegas Ramblers looking to keep everything the way they started the match. We see Ryan Mather, number 14, returning alongside of Michael Keegan, so undoing that little substitution with Spencer Andrews and Joel Auerkamp that we saw in set number 2. On the side of the Utah Stingers, they're going to run it back just the way they finished. That's Yoslater Kala on the outside, number 24. Carlson on your screen there, number 2. Been a solid addition so far. We'll see what the man can get done to start it off on the service line. And there's a miss long. Right now, when I take a look at the serving numbers, we see the Las Vegas Ramblers have 11 aces with 9 errors. And on the side of the Stingers, they have 1 ace with 3 errors. So a lot more volatility on the side of the Ramblers. Love to be aggressive. Stingers want to see the rally extend. That right there feels like a bit of a flip of the script, though. Mike Velitato picking up the ace and the Ramblers missing a serve. So Utah Stingers definitely ready to embrace a little bit of energy out of the gate here. See if they can send this one extra innings. Keegan lays out, and Vaz is going to free ball that over. In-system Stingers, and Shane Ty going after it. Wow. A brand new face to the roster during the 2022 season. Didn't see much court time at event number 1, but that's what it's all about. When your name gets called and your number's on the lineup sheet, make your name known. Shane Ty, number 3. If you didn't know it yet, you know it now. Ryan Schickling continuing to struggle in the serve reception, but Jordan Hoppy able to bail him out with a massive swing. Ramblers now down 1-3. Nice little step, a little start to the set there for the Stingers. And Kevin Vaz answers back, though, with an ace. That is going to be ace number 5 for Kevin Vaz. He's got 17 attempts right now, 5 aces, 3 errors. So a very impressive start on the service line for the big man. Vaz goes back, misses that one wide, but able to get the 1 point. Still not upset about that. Number 24, Yoslater Kala, was hitting a standing float last time, targeting Ryan Schickling in number 8. See if he does that again. It's been proving advantageous thus far for the Stingers. He certainly does. Chaos ball. Mather's going to send that over as Keegan hustles back to the net. Shane Ty goes up and finally gets stopped, but it's not because of the Ramblers' efforts. Unfortunate swing hits the pin there. That's going to be deemed out of bounds. Cannot hit that candy cane stick extending up through the net. I'm curious for all of our fans tuning in, what do you think? Can the Stingers bring this back, or is this a 3-0 all she wrote? I'd love to hear what the fans all over the country and world watching think, as Ryan Mather throws that tight ball down and goes 4-4. Talked a little bit about it before the game, but if these are your favorite teams and you don't have any gear to wear at the office or, out on a jog today, make sure you go check out NVAUSA.shop. All of these teams have awesome swag that you can get through the NVA team shops, great hats, hoodies, and shirts. Be sure to show your support for your favorite teams and the league and help grow the game. Sean Dennis with a top spin, taken by Schickling well, and now Hoppy throws it over, picked up by Carlson. Duarte sends it deep. Inside set there, and Storm goes fishing and finds a hand. There's a great transition swing from number 8 for the Stingers. A much needed point, and takes them to a 2-point lead at 6-4. Schickling takes that one. Bump set from Carlson to Hoppy, and there's Russ Holmes sealing the net and shutting it down. Right now, Ryan Schickling has got to figure out his passing game. That missed serve is gonna still leave the Stingers 2 points ahead here. A nice little buffer to see if they're able to hold on. Hoppy goes off speed, and there's a clean ace for Hoppy. That's gonna be number 5 for him. He's got 13 attempts, 5 aces, no errors. Unreal numbers. That's 13 aces for the Ramblers thus far. Jordan Hoppy on the screen earlier looking like he knew exactly which ball he wanted. Nice pass by Kala, and Storm goes one-on-one, hard angle. Number 8 making his number talked about now. Storm has been a consistent, contributor here offensively, but the passing in sets 1 and 2 made it a little difficult to find some ideal swings, but as they clean it up here, he's finding his groove. Carlson goes in Chop's line there. Once again, block mismatch. Velitato gets up very high on his block, but naturally a little bit shorter, and someone to be targeted there on the set selection by Keegan. The Stingers going to rely on some veteranship here from guys like Kala and Holmes to see what they can get done. Storm swings, and that's terminal block straight down by Ryan Mather. Russ Holmes telling his guys, hey, no worries, we're still here, we're gonna battle. That's the way it goes, sometimes it just doesn't fall your way. 8-8, Josh Duarte looks to extend his serving run one more time. But unable to do so with a serve in the net, and that's gonna bring Storm back, someone that's had a pretty well-documented history of giving the Ramblers some problems. Last year in Atlantic City, played as an outside and an opposite in the same match and almost won by himself. The man was on fire. That's a great match to go check out on YouTube if you don't already know. We've got all of our matches documented there, so check it out. Velitato swings off the block. Mather and Voz now able to corral that one back to the side of the Stingers. Velitato's aggressive set rewarded as Kala scores that one through the block. Tight pass from Hoppy, one-handed back set. Mather swings and goes off the hands of Kala. Mather with a big serve, great pass by Kala, and he gets the set and gets the tool. The man can do it all. We're seeing that set, or the substitution to bring number 24 in, proving to be an extremely effective tool here for the Stingers, giving them a little bit of a backbone for the resurgence here in the third set as they're up by 2 once again. Serve down the line targeting Ryan Schickling, but unable to find him, and the serve is wide. Another great pass by Kala. Back row attack from Storm. He squeaks it through the block. No blocking penetration means a golden opportunity for the golden jersey wearing number 8, Storm. Velitato looking to extend the run once again. Schickling in system means Kevin Voz attacks the triple block there between Kala Dennis and Ty. Scores that one effectively. Voz is slowing down a little bit with that serve here in this set. I think that's his, he's had three out of his last 4 serves have been service errors, but one of those guys you give the green light to and let him hammer serves as much as possible. 13-11. Just a reminder, at 16 we will have a technical timeout if no timeout has been called yet to that point. Jordan Hoppy recycles off the block of Ty. Swings into the angle, tracked down by Velitato, and a free ball from Storm to keep this alive. Hoppy looks to go sharper angle this time, and Keegan sets it back to the outside, looks for number 16 to finish the rally. Chandler Baugh has been battling with the sharp cross court exceptionally well. Unable to quite find that one, but I've been extremely impressed with number 0 so far, making his return. We didn't see him too much last year, but he was lights out in the 2020 season for the Stingers, so excited to see him back. Wow, the trash collector himself, number 3, Shane Ty, once again had to go over there because of the way the block touches all kind of came through. Discussion right now about being in the wrong rotation, but it was not caught from the reffing officials, so therefore not being called. Stingers still holding to that 1-point lead. Hoppy gets the overpass. Carlson swings, but it's dug and goes to Storm on the outside, roll over the top. Picked up by Carlson. The big route from Hoppy is there's the tip. Picked up by Velitato, and now Baugh takes second set. Swings into the triple block. Mather with a tight ball, but swings high hands and gets the kill. Both teams determined to scrap that one out. Stingers getting a couple opportunities, but just not able to come up with the point there. The Ramblers are relentless to tie this one at 14 apiece. Hoppy goes off speed, and there's another ace dropped in the court. Holmes and Kala have a discussion about who takes that ball. That is ace number 6 for Jordan Hoppy. Gets a hold of that one after the off speed. He tries to send that one a couple cities down. Tied at 15 here. Next point's going to take us to a technical timeout at 16 apiece. Carlson squeaks that one through. That's a point for the Ramblers, and that's going to be a technical timeout. We'll be right back. Back into the action here. 16-15. Duarte goes for off speed. Kala picks that up. Backside. Shane Ty dug by Duarte. It's an overpass. Little out of system, but Storm looking to fix that and gets the tool and the point for the Stingers. Vaz doesn't quite get that one to go straight back down. Kala's discussions there with Holmes on who's going to take that short ball paid off as the Stingers were ready for it that time. Off the ceiling is live. Miscommunication between Schickling and Keegan. That is our one FIVB modified rule that we adjust, is that ceilings are live in the NVA. You never know what gym we're going to be in, so we don't want to put ourselves in a situation that, an unreliably low ceiling limits play. So the boys will play on. Mather on the backside. One-hand dig. Valentato's going to track this one down. Free ball from Holmes. Tries to get cheeky with it. And Vaz goes on two, but goes far too deep. And that one's going to be long. A nice resurgence here. 3-point run put together for the Stingers at 18-16. Storm jump serve into the net. An attempt from Mather to go short there does not connect, and not what he was looking for. Served by Holmes, targeting Schickling once again. Mather on the D-ball, swings into the triple block. Dug by Ty, but into the net means Velatato not able to corral it out. Carlson with a jump serve, good pass by Storm. Kala manages swing, dug by Mather and picked up by Keegan. Mather bangs out of the back row, and a free ball coming, another option, taken by Carlson. Hoppy tips over the top, but Shane Ty is playing stellar defense. Kala tries his off speed down the line, and now Hoppy goes for the tool, gets it off of the hands of Velatato into the pin, and that's a point for the Ramblers. 19s apiece now. We are getting into the dog days of set number 3 as the Stingers are fighting for a chance to see set number 4. I went ahead and dropped the link to the weekend schedule in the chat. If you haven't seen it already, you can always go check out NVAUSA.com or check us out on Instagram. Ryan Mather tracks down that ball. Hoppy's going to swing. Hoppy's looking for a challenge on that, saying that there was a touch. And the Las Vegas Ramblers are going to challenge that touch ball. And if I saw that correctly, Sean Dennis might have just mouthed some disappointment that it caught him, but we're running a multi-camera system here, so the way that this works is that we're going to go ahead and now we're going to take it up top, and we have a variety of cameras on the net, as well as every baseline, as well as every 10-foot line, sidelines, things like that. And we've got our specialist, as well as our head ref, Mike Mon, who's up there to make an official call. If there is irrefutable evidence that can overturn the initial call made, then that's going to get radioed down. We're going to hear the new stance on that, and it's going to be either overturn the call that was made, thus burning a challenge for the Ramblers, or it will, if it overturns, they'll keep that. But if it is incorrect in their challenge and the call that was made stands, that will use one of their one of their challenges. So we saw that happen already in the first set at 2-2. Utah Stingers missed out, so they still have 2 remaining challenges. This will be the Ramblers' either second or third remaining, depending on how the outcome goes. Now again, this is going to be a much more impactful one as this score will stand at 20-19 if this call is overturned. There's a TV screen sideline that the players are looking at and reacting to. The Stingers seem to have an initial reaction that they don't see a touch, so that's what all the guys are checking out right now whenever you'll see them kind of corralling all together. But either way, a chance for the Ramblers to kind of step together, talk about what they want to do and how the rest of this match is going to go. The goal for the challenge system here is that we're of course going to get whatever we're seeing on the court side here visible to you at home, but that's not quite up and running yet, so we'll see what we can do to get that done for you. As always, the league is striving for improvements. We mentioned it earlier, but we had our first ever NVA pregame show this morning that went live. You're going to see that on Saturday, Sunday, and every morning prior to the event. So stay tuned and make sure not to miss out. We're going to be breaking down everything you can expect to see that day. We're going to have broadcaster predictions, and at the end of the season, we're going to see which broadcaster was the most correct. So just a fun way to kind of see exactly what's going on. And the Las Vegas Ramblers with a successful challenge. This is one of those things that these players, you know, it doesn't behoove them to lie about that kind of stuff. You know, Jordan Hoppy knows he heard it when... Since I'm so close to the court, he said, I think I saw it, I know I heard it, I want the challenge. That's the kind of confidence that these guys had to make that happen. So that'll be a 20-19 1-point lead for the Ramblers, an effective challenge. Carlson with controlled jump serve. Storm is dug, Hoppy picks it up, and Ryan Schickling sends it back over. Another opportunity for the Stingers. Kala swings, and Kevin Voss making a late move to the pin, not able to get over the net. 20-20, the race to 5 is on. Float serve taken. Back set to Ryan Mather, swings down the line off of the platform of Chandler Baugh. To answer some questions in the chat, so these teams do in fact represent Las Vegas as well as the Utah regions, but something to note, so these teams, the Las Vegas Ramblers is one team that is split. They've got players that train in the Las Vegas region as well as the Southern California region, and they come together for these events, so they've got a variety of names covering both regions. The majority of the roster on the court right now is representing their Southern California side. But so John Carlson is in fact still going to school at Concordia, but completed his NCAA eligibility and is now competing in the NVA. So yep, he is still in fact here in Southern California. Spencer Andrews comes in as a serving sub, steps in for a dig, extends the rally, and Jordan Hoppy sees that open hole and puts it away, 22-20. Utah Stingers are going to take a timeout. Yeah, just a quick rundown on some of the other teams you can expect to see this season. We added the Seattle Sasquatch and the Colorado Kraken, 2 brand new teams. We've also got 2 teams representing Texas. That's going to be the Texas Tyrants and the Dallas Tornadoes. From Florida, we've got Southern Exposure up in the Jersey area. Of course, the Jersey Freedom. In the Windy City, the Chicago Untouchables, a team making a big name for themselves, even though they're a bit off for a slow start at 0-2. A resurgence from that roster, they're definitely one to keep your eye on. Also from the West Coast side, we've got the Inland Empire Matadors, home gym here at Pierce Sports Center. Then we've also got the LA Blaze, and of course, the perennial powerhouse, the OC Stunners. All 12 teams will play every weekend, 2 matches over 3 days, so be sure to tune in and support your favorite boys. Spencer Andrews once again finds the float. Back row option. Storm unable to get his hand on top of the ball. That one sails long. Bellatato looking for a little bit of back row involvement. 23-20 now. Stingers are backs against the wall. We want to see them get a pass here, find an effective side out, and see if they can get a little serving run going their way. Good pass by Storm. Sean Dennis in the middle, picked up by Carlson in the corner. Keegan dumps over, takes out Velitato. But now Collis swings and chips down the line. Spencer Andrews once again finding a dig. And Ryan Mather swinging. Velitato extends, but a back row attack. The Stingers' relentless defensive pursuits are rewarded. Nice job by Spencer Andrews, giving the Ramblers a little reprieve. A good recognition. We were talking earlier about some of the missed serves from Vaz, so a little bit of a different look, and now a 2-point difference for the Utah Stingers to overcome. Kala goes to the float. Carlson's got to take this one, goes to Hoppy, who hammers that high off the block, but in system, Sean Dennis missed connection, unable to connect there. 24-21, match point. Michael Keegan misses the jump serve into the net. Still with a 2-point buffer, Sean Dennis, who's been a little tipsy-turvy on that. And there it is. That's going to be a serving sub, bringing Sean Dennis out. And that's going to be number 13, Reed Chilton, coming in, the other setter for the Stingers as a serving sub. Reed traditionally hits a jump serve, likes to go right down the seam at 5'6", so expect this between Carlson and Schickling. But 3 sets cold off the bench. We'll see what he opts for here to fend off. Match point. Taken by Carlson. Out to Mather. Off the chest. Storm keeps it alive. Russ Holmes returns in kind and finds Keegan off the chest. The setter is putting their bodies on the line, but Keegan not rewarded in the same way that Mike Velitato was. Love the way Mike Velitato stands in there for the Stingers, and he is rewarded. A little bit of life coming together here for the guys in gold. The Swarm fans at home are hoping their guys can take that little bit of confidence, put it together. One more serve on the back of Chilton off the bench, doing a nice job there, hitting that one down the line. See if they can push the Ramblers into set number 4. You can see Chilton trying to warm himself up as he enters the court there. A couple quick jogs trying to get the legs moving. Very cold here, but that's what the role requires. It doesn't matter how deep into the match you are. Be ready to go when your number's called. And coach, player, owner Russ Holmes looks for Chilton to get it done. Targeting Schickling. Hoppy swings off the ceiling, ricochet, comes over, and that's all she wrote. 25-23, a 3-0 sweep for the Las Vegas Ramblers here in San Bernardino, California. Well, the Stingers are short a couple of their namestays with Enoval Romero and George Mencia gone, but they were able to put up a considerable fight once they woke up a little bit there after the first set. But that's kind of one of the Stingers' tried and true things we always talk about. A team that's traditionally a little slow to start, so if you let them get into that, they're going to punish you for it. I do want to take a second to talk about Shane Ty. Number 3, not a name that we've really had the opportunity to talk too much about before, but man, did he do some damage. Really brought the team to life there in set number 2. Set number 2, doing a great job swinging for them and complimenting Storm on the outside very well. So nice little future for him. Definitely optimistic for the Stingers as that moves them to 2-1, and they'll have one more match this weekend. Ramblers go to 3-0, the only team in the league now to do so, obviously, as the only team that has played 3 matches besides the Stingers. we're now going to be getting ready for a player of the match here shortly. I believe that's going to be Jordan Hoppy. I'm joined by my man on the sideline there, Ira Thor. So we'll throw it over to them in just a minute. But until then, I want to take a chance to talk about the Las Vegas Ramblers. Kevin Vaz, someone that we talked about, a little bit of a question mark, what he was going to have in terms of connection. But he came out with 6 aces there for the Ramblers, complemented by Jordan Hoppy as well. Apologies, Vaz had 5. Hoppy had 6. And, Vaz was slotting in quite nicely. John Carlson also, someone that was brought in to really be a defensive and serve-receive boon to this Ramblers squad, doing an exceptional job covering the court up everywhere. To no one's surprise, Jordan Hoppy, also the man on the outside, wheeling and dealing, showing a variety of big swings into the hard angle, as well as court vision, that just picking up those big kills with some powerful tips. So definitely an exciting match to watch. Up next, could not be more of a cherry on top. OC Stunners and Texas Tyrants. So that's going to be taking place at 12 noon. Going to be an exciting one for sure. The OC Stunners bringing back a ton of their international powerhouses. So super excited to see that one going. And I think we've got the sideline shot ready to go. I'm going to throw it over to my guys here. Ira Thor, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Ira Thor alongside Jordan Hoppy, our man of the match, as the Las Vegas Ramblers with a statement victory today. 2-2-0 teams coming in, but for you guys, everything seemed to be working well today. Talk about the ace game in particular, which kind of set the early tone.
Yeah, the Ramblers our mentality is just to get after it back there, and I think we're always going to go for it. And some nights be there, and some nights we might have to restrict a little bit, but we always stay aggressive back there. And we were able to rattle off a few. Me and Kaveen Voss were going at it back and forth with each other back there, trying to push each other to get better. And shout out to Kaveen. He had a really good match, playing really well back there. And all our guys, too, just really good from the service line. So.
Now, actually going to be my next question. Just talk about Vaz's addition to this team and really how that now has helped solidify the middle for you guys going forward.
Yeah, Kaveen is a heck of a player, and we've had a little trouble with getting middles in and out of here. Antoine's he's over in Vegas right now. He'll be back, I think, for the next event. So it's just good addition to the squad and makes our roster.
Now, obviously, you guys have high expectations this year. One convincing today, even without Brandon Rattray being available. What does being 3-0 at this point of the year mean to you guys in terms of the confidence going forward?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. I think that first event we were battling for those first wins, and to get this third one is nice. And it's still super early in the season, so we're ready just to weather the storm of a season and continue to grow and get better in practice together.
Jordan Hoppy and his squad certainly weathered the storm today. A tremendous line, 14 kills. You had a 48% rate today, and you had 6 aces. Assess your own development now as you're continuing to develop as a pro.
Yeah, I think I'm just myself putting in a lot of work, and it's easier too when I'm putting work in the weight room, and then I'm coming out here, and these guys are already pros, played for a year, so they're helping me along, and it's just been a blessing to have those guys out there. So.
Well, we saw the results firsthand. A convincing win for Las Vegas today. Congratulations, Jordan. And the Ramblers, 3-0 winners over Utah.
All right, well, that was an exciting conclusion to the first match of the day. Once again, a 3-0 sweep for the Las Vegas Ramblers. That's going to be 25-15, 25-21, and 25-23. Once again, a quick shout out to every way you can find us, NVAUSA.com. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok. We've got a baseline high, about a 25-foot view cam going on there. We got almost 500 viewers during that match at one time. So another exciting way to engage with the NVA. Check us out on our app at NVA USA on both app stores, NVAUSA.shop to get all your favorite gear. We'll be back here at noon. Don't miss out. We'll see you soon.